Yes, I can hear you. County Attorney's Office?
Your judge, as well as the Attorney General for the Attorney General cases.
Got it. All right. And Public Defense Service?
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
Okay, great. All right. And Joe, confirm, I don't have anybody on the list this evening that's a Spanish speaker. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. The interpreter, do we have the interpreter on?
Yes, the interpreter's here, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to excuse you. Thank you for showing up, but it doesn't seem like we're going to need your services tonight.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ready to proceed? I'm Mr. Sorry, is it Trevino? Sir, can you please give me your full name?
Damon Jesus Gomez, Your Honor.
Excuse me. All right, Mr. Gomez. All right, good evening. So this time you're set for your initial appearance. You are here on a petition to revoke your probation that was issued by the Tucson City Court based on a petition to revoke that was signed by the senior probation officer and supervisor. In this matter, I'm going to hold you on a $2,500 cash bond and set this matter for a review hearing on May 21st at 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Million. If you are able to post that bond, I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, commit any acts of domestic violence, and that you have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim in this case, to include going to their place of work or residence. Let me just make sure I don't have anything else for you, sir. All right. Okay, that's all I have for you, Mr. Gomez. You're excused. Make sure if you do post, attend your hearing on the 21st, or a warrant could issue for your arrest.
Sir, thank you, Your Honor.
You.
So I need to any paperwork? Oh, okay, okay.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Vance Trevino, 11/9/1990.
Being at the time set for your initial appearance, being seen here tonight on a charge of criminal damage. Remind you, sir, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and in this case, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for the purpose of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please address them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yep.
All right. I have reviewed the pretrial services workup for Mr. Trevino, as well as obviously the interim complaint. Note the county attorney's office recommendation for $5,000 bond with pretrial services. Did you have anything to add to that?
In Your Honor, that was just based on his pending felony case he has and probation status.
Oh, and I apologize. I did mean to mention that Mr. Trevino is being held on a adult probation hold. Defense, any recommendation or request?
Yes, Judge. Judge, we're asking for a $1,000 bond for time credit. He is being held without bond on another matter.
Okay. Thank you. I'll order a $2,500 cash bond and set this matter for, I'm sorry, preliminary hearing is Actually,
Hold on.
all right. So I can set this matter for preliminary hearing on May the 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So, Mr. Vino, you're not going to be released this evening because you're already being held on another matter. If you do happen to post a bond, I'm going to order that you not have any contact with the alleged victims in this case or go back to the incident location. Please make sure to keep contact with your attorney, as if that date does move, you want to make sure and keep a good line of communication with your attorneys. Understand?
Please, so they've been holding me.
So-
Yeah, no, at least I don't want to be in hell for eternity.
I'm sure your shoes. Thank you.
Your Honor, it's the judge. We're still waiting on Jones. Is it okay if we move on?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
We're still waiting on Jones. Woodrow, is it okay if we move on?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Good evening. Can I please have your full name and date of birth?
Hector Alfonso Rios, 62085.
Thank you, Mr. Rios. It's time set for your initial appearance. Being seen here on a warrant that was issued for your arrest by Judge Danielle Constant of the Pima County Superior Court on April 30th. This relates to charges of aggravated domestic violence and aggravated domestic violence harassment. Note that the amount of the warrant is $15,000. County Attorney's Office recommendation was $15,000 for the warrant in lieu of a no bond. Mr. Goodman, anything to add for the state?
Yeah, and that's correct, Judge. He appears to at least been on release for the 2022 case he's pending sentencing on. We could request a no bond, but the state is content in the warrant amount that the judge set.
That's
Judge, we're asking for a $5,000 bond. He's being held on other matters, and he's a lifelong resident of Tucson.
Thank you. I'm going to honor the amount of the bond and impose a $15,000 cash bond, and further order that if the defendant is able to post a bond, that he be released to the supervision of pretrial services, and further that the defendant not commit any acts of domestic violence, surrender any firearms in his possession, and possess no firearms pending the outcome of this case, and have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim, to include going to their place of work or residence. I do apologize. I am also going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. I'll set this for preliminary hearing. I'm sorry, for an arraignment. All right. I'll set this matter for an arraignment on May 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Mr. Rios, you're not going to be released this evening unless you're able to post that bond. If you do want to post that bond, please make sure and contact your attorney as soon as possible. And above all else, be at your arraignment on the 9th, or otherwise another warrant could issue for your arrest. You're released. Thank you. And who do we have next?
Jones, Judge.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
But that's only
We're ready, Judge.
All right, thank you. Can I please have your full name and date of birth, sir?
Woodrow Jones, 3/28/79.
All right, Mr. Jones, you're being seen here based on a warrant that was issued. The Pima County Justice Court related charges of first-degree murder and transportation of narcotic drugs for sale. Amount listed on the warrant is $1 million. Remind you, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. You do have a right to an attorney, and I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And the attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So please direct any questions or comments you have to them before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Sorry, go ahead. I had it on mute, Judge.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. County attorney's recommendation was $1 million bond per the court warrant. I did review the pretrial services report, noting that there is a separate felony case in CR 2025-1239, in which the defendant was on release conditions, or is on release conditions. Mr. Goodman, anything to add to your recommendation or any additional argument you wish to make?
Your Honor, I don't believe so. It looks like he was on felony probation at the time, at least the date of offense for drug sales case. In the matter you're referencing, you're correct. He does. He didn't commit this, from what I can tell, while on release. It's just another pending case based on the dates of offenses. But it's very concerning. He's on probation for, drug sales, and given the charges, and then has an additional drug case. Just given the circumstances, the state believes the $1 million bond set by the Justice of the Peace judge is warranted in this matter.
And defense?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Jones is released to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, a much lower bond. He's lived in Tucson for 40 years. He has confirmed housing with his wife. He recently had a toe amputation, and he has a lot of appointments tied to that. He's supposed to have a wound vac connected to the toe, but it got clogged, and the jail doesn't have the equipment. He was previously on an ankle monitor, and Judge, looking at his history, it appears that he has a nonviolent history.
I'm going to honor the amount of the bond in this matter and impose a $1 million cash secured bond, and further order that if the defendant is able to post that bond, that it be released to the supervision of pretrial services and submit to any monitoring or treatment that is directed by pretrial services. I'm also going to order that defendant not possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to set this matter for preliminary hearing on May the 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. All right. Thank you, Ms. Jones. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Yes, Your Honor. Matthew Ryan Baldwin, 9/21/1978.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, you're being seen here tonight based on a warrant that was issued by Judge Victoria Steele from Pima County Justice Court related to
Okay.
Oh, hang on, sir. Just to let you know, I'm just telling you this is why you're being seen tonight. And remind you do have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be used against you. So this warrant was issued by Judge Steele on April the 16th of this year on a charge of shoplifting and a failure to appear. I'm going to release you on this matter, provided that you can promise me you will appear at an arraignment. Hang on. I can release you on this matter, provided you will promise me you will appear at an arraignment in front of Judge Renee Garza on May the 12th at 8:30 in the morning. Can you do that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you will be released on this matter, and your hearing is going to be scheduled for May the 12th. I'm also going to order that you not consume or possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, have no contact with the alleged victims in this case, or return to the incident location. So, sir, you're going to be released. Please make sure and attend your court hearing on the 12th, or a warrant could issue for your arrest, and you end up right back in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Can I have a seat open? Matthew? Oh, Matthew. That's the last name.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Rebecca Rosa Matthews, 62980.
Thank you. Matthews, you're being seen here on 3 separate cases involving 3 separate warrants for one warrant for failing to appear, consuming alcohol or spirits in a public area, criminal trespass, and failing to appear. And that was issued by Judge Ball, the Pima County Justice Court. Second warrant is for criminal trespass. That was issued by Judge Foreman of the Pima County Justice Court. And the last one by Judge Steele for assault and failing to appear. So a lot going on here. In each of the cases, the requested bond amount was either, the requested bond amount from Judge Ball's warrant was $250. The requested amounts for the other 2 were $500. I'm going to honor the request of $500 and hold you in each of those cases in a bond of $500. I'm going to set this matter for a pretrial hearing on May the 5th at 1 p.m. I'm also going to appoint Mr. Christian Salter to represent you on all 3 cases. So you're not going to be released unless you are able to post that bond. If you are able to post that bond, you need to contact Mr. Salter immediately. His phone number will be listed on the paperwork you'll receive. I'm also going to order that you have no contact with the alleged victims or return to any of the incident locations in any of the 3 cases. If you are released, please make sure and contact Mr. Salter immediately. And above all else, be present at your arraignment. At your hearing on May the 5th at 1 p.m. in front of Judge Foster, or a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Salazar?
One second. I can please have your full name and date of birth.
Rene Cirilo Salazar, April 25th, 1994.
Just as of the time set for your initial appearance, reminding you do have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be held against you. You're being seen here on two different matters. One related to a warrant that was issued for your arrest by Judge Ball of the Pima County Justice Courts on December 22nd, 2023. This relates to a charge of theft and failing to appear. On that matter, I will release you from custody, provided you will promise me you will appear at an arraignment on May the 12th at 8:30 in the morning in front of Judge Renee Garza. Can you do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And the second matter relates to a warrant that was issued for your arrest out of the Tucson City Court on about the same time by Judge Jay Cranshaw. This relates to several charges of possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass. I'll likewise release you in that matter and set this for a pretrial conference on May the 28th at 2 p.m. in front of Judge Cranshaw. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs in either of those cases. So please make sure when you get this paperwork, review it carefully, and make sure you're at your hearings on the 12th and 28th respectively. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest in either cases or both, and you can end up right back in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Gonzalez,
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Frank Gonzalez, 02-2098.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez. This time set for your initial appearance. You're here because a warrant was issued for your arrest by Judge Wendy Martinez of the Tucson City Court.
Correct.
This relates to a petition to revoke your probation that was filed on February 18th and served on February 26th of this year. I'm going to honor the requested bond amount that was recommended by Judge Million and hold you on a $2,500 cash bond. I'm also going to set this matter for a video review hearing on May the 14th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So if you're still in custody on the 14th, you're going to be seen by Judge Million much the same way that you're appearing in front of me this evening. You are released. I do post a bond and are released. I'm ordering that you have not have any contact with the victims in this case, that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you do not commit any acts of domestic violence.
Time out real quick, if I may. Is there any possibility of lowering the bond?
No, sir. The bond's going to remain at the amount that was requested by Judge Million, and you'll be seen by her on the 14th via video review, or if you post it in person at Tucson City Court.
Okay, and then again, your name is?
My name is Judge Padilla.
Judge Padilla. It was never part of the requirements of no contact with the victims. So I want to know like where that's coming from.
That's my ordering it based on the nature of the charges and the circumstances involved. Okay?
But that was never involved.
Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Come on. Yeah.
Thanks. Melissa.
Yes.
You're next. Nathan. Okay.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Melissa Don Haynes, January 25th, 1974.
And good evening. It's time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different cases stemming out of the Tucson City Court. In each one of those cases, there appears to have been a warrant that was issued for your arrest by Judge Klotz of the Tucson City Court. On all those matters, I'm going to impose, all those cases are consolidated. I'm going to impose a $250 cash bond and set this matter for a video review hearing on May the 9th at 1:45 in the afternoon in front of Judge Verena at the Tucson City Court. So if you're able to post the bond, you'll be released, and I'll order that you not have any contact with any alleged victims in any of those cases or go to their place of work or residence. I'm also going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you, and their contact information will be on the paperwork you'll receive tonight. So if you are still being held in custody on the 9th, you'll be seen by Judge Verena much in the same way you're appearing before me tonight. Otherwise, you'll have to appear at the courthouse on the 9th, or a warrant could issue for your arrest, and you can end up right back in jail. Do you understand? Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. You're excused. One second. Good evening, sir. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Richard Anthony Martinez, the 3rd, January 3rd, 1998.
All right. Mr. Martinez, even this time set for your initial appearance and arraignment, you're being seen tonight on a single charge of domestic violence disorderly conduct. This is alleged to have occurred on between on or about May 1st and May 2nd. Just trying to look at for one piece of information. Okay. All right. Mr. Martinez, to remind you, you do have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, though in this case may be your own expense. In this matter, I'm going to release you on promise that you will appear at a hearing in front of Judge Wendy Martinez at the Tucson City Court on June the 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. Can you do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, to remind you, you do have a right to attend all hearings and a responsibility to attend all hearings. Otherwise, any hearing, including a bench trial, could proceed in your absence, in which case you would lose the right to defend yourself, present any evidence in your own defense, challenge the state's witnesses and evidence, and ultimately could be found guilty in your absence. Additionally, if you are found guilty at a bench trial and are unable to be sentenced within 90 days, you may lose the right to appeal based on your absence. I'm going to order that you not have any contact with the alleged victims in this case, to include going to their place of work or residence, and that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And that's all I have for you, sir. Please make sure and attend your hearing on the 3rd and keep in contact with court. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're excused. Good evening. Can I please have your full name and date of birth?
Levi Norris, 7381.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Levi Norris, 11381.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Norris.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're being seen here tonight on charges of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree and shoplifting. Remind you, sir, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be held against you.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe you were already released previously. So yeah, so this is based on a warrant. I'm going to release you on this matter on promise that you can appear at a court hearing
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
in court on May the 29th at 2:30 in the afternoon. Can you do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And I'll set this matter for a pretrial hearing on May 29th at 2:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Cranshaw. I'm going to order that you not have any contact with any alleged victims or go to the incident location in this matter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir, you're going to be released this evening. Please make sure, keep this paperwork with you. Make sure you're at court at the time, date set. Otherwise, another warrant could issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're
Thank
excused.
you. All right.
That's encouraging. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Resentencing 31/5/2006.
All right. You're being seen here tonight based on 2 charges. Well, I'm sorry, there's going to be a couple different matters for you. The one we'll deal with first is 2 charges of domestic violence interfering with a judicial proceeding, alleged to have occurred on April the 11th, 2025. You do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and in this matter, I'm going to be appointing Ms. Janet Altschuler to represent you, as I believe she is the assigned judge in your other case. On this matter, I'm also going to set a video review hearing on May 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Millian, and impose a bond of $500 cash, and further order that you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victims, to include going to their place of work or residence. This matter is going to be consolidated with your other matter, where a warrant was issued for your arrest by Judge Millian. You were held on that matter on a bond of $1,000. I'm going to impose a bond of $500 in this case, as I mentioned before. And on this matter, sir, to remind you, you do have a right to remain silent. Again, you don't want to say anything out loud that could get you in trouble. To remind you, you do also have an obligation to attend all court hearings. Otherwise, they could proceed in your absence, including a trial, in which case you may be found guilty without the ability to defend yourself. Further, if you are not able to be sentenced within 90 days because of your absence, you may lose the right to appeal any conviction. Sir, you're not being released unless you can post that bond, or the bond in both cases, rather. But you will be seen by Judge Millian on the 7th at 1:30, and Ms. Altschuler will be appointed to represent you in the secondary matter. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge. And as far as like being here right now, bro, they're being bad with me, bro. Like I've been cooperative. I've came in. I've went to all my court cases, bro. And I came in, and last time I didn't behave, and I was bad. But this time I came in and I was calm. I wasn't angry. I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't feeling any type of way, bro. And they immediately have me on cuff status because of last time, which is I understand, so I behaved all day. And all I'm asking was to call my dad or my mom, bro. They just completely kept me isolated, bro. They haven't even given me a chance to just make a phone call, you know, or even try to get off of cuff status. They've been telling me, well, you got to go to court, this, that. And I'm like, I understand that, but what about how you guys are treating me right now? Because I'm not a person where you need to tie me up. I'm cooperative, you know.
Well, you've been seen, and you'll have your day in court on the 7th in front of Judge Millian. You're excused, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, bro. Bro, how's it going, mama? Yes, fine. How's it going?
No.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Yes, Jose Munoz, 11/15/1986.
Thank you, Mr. Munoz. It's time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here tonight on several charges related to organized retail theft, conspiracy to commit fraud schemes. This is all related to a series of events alleged to have occurred on between January 3rd of this year. Remind you do have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and for you, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please direct them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Note I have reviewed the pretrial services report. Know that Mr. Munoz is a 2 and 2, respectively, on the NCAA FDA scales. And I do have the Attorney General's Office's recommendation in this matter. What's the AG's position on conditions of release?
Judge, we'd ask that you apply what we'd asked for, the $15,000. This is a 4-defendant case that hit multiple retailers, not just here in Pima County, but throughout Arizona, ranging from Maricopa to Cochise. They stole approximately $50,000 worth of merchandise in that 4-month time frame. He's looking at mandatory prison. If the court does release him, we'd ask that he be released to pretrial services, and we'd ask that he be ordered to have no contact with the victim, not to return to any of the victim businesses, as well as no contact with any of his co-defendants.
Thank you. Defense.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Munoz is released to pretrial services or a substantially lower bond. Pretrial did identify him as a level 1, which is the lowest support needs, and that this is a nonviolent felony. Additionally, Judge, he does have confirmed housing with his wife, and he has no prior felonies.
I'm going to post bond of $10,000 cash and further order that if the bond is posted, that Mr. Munoz be released to the supervision of pretrial services and submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by the pretrial services. I will order that Mr. Munoz not have any contact with the alleged victims or return to any of the incident locations as alleged, and that he not have any contact with any co-defendants in this matter. I'll set this for a preliminary hearing on May the 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's all I have for you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you. Robles. Take a seat. Yeah.
Please have your full name and date of birth.
Manuel Robles, no middle initial, 8/20/63.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rose is being seen this evening on several charges related to organized retail theft, conspiracy, illegally control of an enterprise, and overarching theft. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and in your case, I'm going to be appointing the Pima County legal advocate to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing, so please direct any questions or concerns you have to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand? Here's this one of the other co-defendants. Mr. McCrae, position on conditions of release for Mr. Robles.
Judge, I requested the 25,000 because he was on probation as of January 28th, and all of his offenses occurred after he was placed on probation. I didn't see a probation hold on him, so I asked for the higher bond to ensure that he's kept in order to see if probation does, in fact, file a revocation of his probation. So, based on that and the previous stuff I've discussed, how this affected multiple counties, I'd ask for the $25,000.
And I did forget to mention that pretrial services noted he was a 4 and a 3 respectively on the NCAA FDA scales, and that there was a history of felony offenses dating back to 1981. I'm sorry. Defense, it's your recommendation.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Robles is released to pretrial services or a much lower bond. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson, and he does have felony history. However, there is about a 22-year gap between his felony from previously and then the most recent felony. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, a much lower bond.
I'm going to impose a bond of $15,000 cash, and further order that if the bond is posted, that the defendant be released to the supervision of pretrial services and submit to any monitoring as directed by pretrial services. I'm also going to order that the defendant not have any contact with any alleged victims or return to any of the alleged incident locations. And lastly, that he not have any contact of any kind with any co-defendants in this matter. I'll set this for a preliminary hearing on May 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Pima County Justice Court. And unless either party had anything else, that's all I have for you, Mr. Robles. You're excused.
All right, thank you. I got to call each. I got to call each people.
For innocent generally for next 5 weeks. Offering the same, only thing to remember them. Poodles. He's just going around the middle. I'm gonna do the other one in the room. What? Second one. What's this? I got you that.
Good evening. Please tell me your full name and date of birth.
Billy Joe Anthony Jr., 10/5/1987.
All right, Mr. Anthony, good evening. This time, step for your initial appearance. You are being seen here on, based on a warrant that was issued for your arrest by Judge Tracy Miller of the Pima County Superior Court on July 3rd of last year. Remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please direct them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I have reviewed the pretrial services report, noting that the pretrial services rated Mr. Anthony as a 4 and a 2 respectively. And also noting that I believe there was some history of Criminal activity. State's recommendation was a bond of $5,000 per the Superior Court warrant. Mr. Goodman, anything to add or any additional argument you wish me to hear?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the state's requesting the $5,000 bond, which was the same bond that the court originally imposed before the matter was dismissed and refiled. He reports to not have received the summons. The case was continued for another arraignment, I would imagine for outreach attempt purposes. And, the court was still, unsuccessful in securing his appearance. So the state believes the original bond he received, which is the warrant amount of $5,000, is appropriate.
And defense?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Anthony's released to pretrial services. He is fully employed in maintenance. He works at the fairgrounds and he's scheduled to work tomorrow. Pretrial services identified him as a level 1, which is the lowest support needs, and that these charges are nonviolent. He has ties to Tucson. He lives with his fiance. And again, just to emphasize, these charges were dismissed and refiled. He didn't know that the charges were refiled. He did post bond. He got his bond money back. So he didn't know that there were these charges out here. And looking at his history, Judge, it looks like he has a nonviolent history. And it looks like his previous arrest was from 2008. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services. Again, these were refiled now that he's here. He knows these charges are happening, and he knows that he has to stay in touch with his attorney.
I'm going to honor Judge Miller's request, $5,000 bond secured, and further order that he be released, if bond is posted, that he be released through pretrial services, supervision, and submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed. I'll further set this matter for an arraignment on May 9th at 1:30.
I'm sorry, Judge, you said May 9th?
Yes, May 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Hold on. What do you?
I done everything I was supposed to do.
Judge, would you reconsider bond? He is not going to be able to post a $5,000 bond.
Your Honor, may I?
Judge, he'd like to make a statement.
Okay.
Your Honor, I came to court last time like I was supposed to. I done everything that I was supposed to do. I paid my $1,200 rent today. I bought baby food. I bought water. I bought everything I was supposed to do today with my check. I don't have the money to repost that bond. I went to court. I done everything that I was supposed to do, and I thought these charges were dismissed and that it was done. So I carried on with my life. I haven't been in any more trouble. I work almost 7 days a week. I have a new daughter at home. I have to work tomorrow. I can't make another $5,000 bond, Your Honor. If I had known that my court date, that I had another court date, I would have been here.
Well, Mr. Anthony, again, I ordered a $5,000 bond that is either cash or secured, meaning you can work with a bail bonds agent. The jail has information they can provide you to work with them if you choose. But either way, the bond is going to stay at $5,000. It's going to be cash or secured, as I mentioned, and your arraignment will be set for the 9th. So 1 week from today, you'll see the judge, and at that time, your conditions may be released. Conditions of release may change. But again, the bond will stay where it is at $5,000 cash or secured. And if you want information on how that actually works, the jail will provide it to you. So thanks, sir. You are excused.
Barnett.
Good evening, sir. Can I please have your full name and date of birth?
Jesus Fernando Barnett Real, 42092.
thank you. Ms. Barnett, you're being seen here tonight on two different matters. We're going to handle the felony first. You're being seen here first on a felony charge of possession of a dangerous drug and possession of a narcotic drug. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please direct them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand? Also reviewed the pretrial services report. Pretrial services noted that Mr. Barnett is a 2 and a 3 respectively on the NCAA FTA scales. That his steps diversion eligible and didn't have any history of felony criminal arrest that they could discover. What is the state's recommendation on conditions of release?
Your Honor, the state feels that pretrial services and the steps court hearing would be appropriate. I'm the one who actually screens the individuals. I looked into his history already. And if he actually shows up to this hearing, I will offer him the diversion. So, Twyla, if you want to let him know that he really needs to show up to that next hearing if he wants to partake in it.
Okay. And defense counsel, do you want to discuss steps or eligibility with your client first before we talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yes, he's interested, Judge.
Okay. And let's see.
And Judge, if you're inclined to for release, I don't need to be heard in release conditions.
Okay. Willing to waive time on the preliminary hearing?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. So, Mr. Bernariel, based on the recommendation and the agreement of both your attorney and the state's attorney, I will release you to pretrial services, excuse me, in order that you submit to any monitoring that they direct. I also order that you not have any possession or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to set you for a steps hearing on May 12th at 9 a.m. at Pima County Superior Court. So you have a hearing on May 12th. Just in case that falls through for whatever reason, I'm also going to set a preliminary hearing date for you on June the 16th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So,
Okay, no,
you have two different hearings, one on the 12th, and if that one does not go forward or you're not accepted into the steps program for any reason, you'll have a preliminary hearing on June the 16th. Please make sure and make those hearings and keep in contact with your attorney. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you can end up right back in custody. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay.
They'll dismiss the charges against you. Got into the program. Got to get there on the phone. Got into the program.
Yes, sir.
On
That's how we do.
the other matter, you're being seen for a misdemeanor count of criminal trespass in the second degree, domestic violence, criminal trespass in the second degree, alleged to have occurred earlier today. Again, to remind you, you do have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you in that matter as well. I'm going to release you in that matter on promise that you will appear at a court hearing. Yeah. I'm going to set a court hearing for you on May the 12th at 10:30 a.m.
Okay.
Judge, that's the same time or about the same time as the steps hearing.
Yes, give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can adjust time here. The steps hearing was at 9 a.m. One second. Thank you. I'm gonna reset that and make it an arraignment on May the 13th at 10:30 in front of Judge Garza at the Pima County Justice Court.
Okay.
I'm going to order that Ms. Bernard Real not have any contact with the alleged victims in this case, to include going to their place of work or residence, commit no act of domestic violence, and possess no firearms or weapons. So, Ms. Bernard Real, you're going to be released. You're going to have several court dates you got to get to. Please make sure and keep in touch with your attorney.
Yes, sir.
And attend any court hearings, otherwise the warrant could issue for your arrest. You understand?
No. Yeah, I understand.
Okay, thanks, sir. You're excused.
Thank you, sir.
So you have.
Understand?
Good evening. Can you tell me your full name and date of birth?
Matthew Thomas Edenston, May 25th, 1996.
All right, thank you. Mr. Edmiston, you're being seen here tonight on two different matters. I'll handle the felony matter first. First, you are being seen here on charges of aggravated DUI, possession of narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So please direct any questions or concerns you have to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Taking a look at the pretrial services report. Note there's no holds or probation noted. Pretrial services rated Mr. Edmiston at a 4 and a 5 respectively on the NCAA scales. But no, there is a underlying misdemeanor DUI offense. And what's the state's position on conditions of release?
Your Honor, the state's requesting the $7,500 bond with pretrial services. As the court noted, he has a pending, it looks like Tucson City Court DUI that he incurred this January. And I would assume based on the failure to appear date, he immediately failed to appear for that first court date. So he's already pending a DUI from this January and just incurred, another felony level DUI.
Thank you.
Anything.
Spence?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Edmiston is released to pretrial services. He is fully employed. He works in construction. He's scheduled to work this week. He's been consistently employed since 2016. He has lifelong ties to Tucson. He has confirmed housing with his father. Pretrial services identified these charges as nonviolent, and he has no felony history. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services.
Just on the failure to appear nature of the charges, I'm going to impose a bond of $2,000 cash secured and order that if Mr. Edmiston is able to post that bond, that he be released to the supervision of pretrial services and submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. I'm also going to order that Mr. Edmiston not have any consume or possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, drive without a valid license, and going to set this matter for a preliminary hearing on May 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Wouldn't that be the 12th, Judge, since you're holding?
Oh, my apologies. You're correct. Thank you, Mr. Goodman.
Yeah.
The preliminary hearing will be May the 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And Mr. Edmondson, the second matter being seen on is the DUI charge from the Tucson City Court, alleged to have occurred on January 6th of this year. On that matter, since I'm holding you on the other matter, I will hold you on this matter on a bond, $250. Cash is secured. And I'm going to set a video review hearing for you on May 9th of this year at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Mayhew. I'm also going to appoint the Pima County the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. And you'll have the same conditions of release as in your felony case. Also, in this city court matter, I'll remind you again, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to a counsel, which has been appointed to you. If you fail to appear at any of the hearings that may proceed in this case, they may proceed in your absence, to include a trial, at which time you could be found guilty of all charges and without the ability to present your own evidence, defense, or challenge the state's evidence. If you're found guilty at such a trial and are unable to be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. So it's very important, sir, that you keep in contact with your attorneys in both your felony and your city court matters and attend all hearings that are scheduled for you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Oh, I'm sorry. I put more things in there.
Martinez. So outside.
Into the pit, yeah.
Martinez. The drop for.
One second. And please have your full name and date of birth.
Leticia Martinez, January 2nd, 2004.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Martinez, it's time set for your initial appearance. To remind you, you do have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for the purpose of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please direct them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First matter, so we're going to deal with a few different matters this evening. The first one stems from a warrant that was issued for your arrest by Judge Tracy Miller to the Pima County Superior Court on October the 10th of last year. These relate to charges of narcotic drug possession and possession of drug paraphernalia. You were rated as 6 out of 6 on both the NCAA and FTA scales. And have a few different charges in your past. Goodman State's recommendation was $2,500 for the Superior Court warrant. Anything else that you'd like to add to the record?
I would just note in pretrial's assessment section, she last made contact with them in September. She didn't show up to the first arraignment, it got continued, didn't show up to the second arraignment, got continued. So she basically failed to appear for 3 arraignments, and she now has at least 6 Tucson City Court warrants out for her arrest. So the state is requesting the warrant amount of $2,500 based on that, cumulative, consideration together.
Spence?
Judge, we're asking that Ms. Martinez is released to pretrial services. She's not going to be able to post a bond. And just to emphasize, Judge, that it looks like she's had no new charges and possibly no police contact since August 2024. She didn't know she had court. These charges were identified as nonviolent. She's a lifelong resident of Tucson. And Judge, she tells me she's doing a lot better now than she was previously. So we're asking for another opportunity on pretrial services.
Well, given the pretrial service assessment and the history, I am going to impose the bond of $2,500 cash and further order that if the bond is posted, that Ms. Martinez be released to pretrial services and submit to any monitoring or treatment as they direct. I'll also order that she not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs and set this matter, excuse me, for an arraignment on May 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon. All right. And next, Ms. Martinez, we have to talk about your cases in the Tucson City Court. I have here 10 different cases, case numbers for you with allegations of possession of drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, shoplifting, criminal trespass in the 2nd degree, reckless burning, and possession of a prescription drug. As I am holding you on the felony matter, I will impose a bond in these cases of $250 cash. And I'm going to set the matter for a video review hearing on May 8th at 1:45 in front of Judge Blue at the Tucson City Court. I'm also going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to order that if you do post a bond in these cases, that you possess, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and not have any contact with any alleged victims, or go to any of the incident locations as alleged in any of the cases. So, Ms. Martinez, you're going to have a couple different court dates. One is on May 8th in the city court. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen on video the way you're being seen this evening. And on May 9th, you'll have your arraignment at the Pima County Superior Court. Please make sure and keep contact with your attorney, and make sure and attend any and all court hearings. Otherwise, they could proceed in your absence, and a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you, ma'am. You're excused.
Pascal?
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Kyle Robert Mascal, 5592.
All right, Ms. Mascal, this time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a charge of third-degree burglary and criminal damage alleged to have occurred on, today. Remind you, sir, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to be appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So please direct any questions or concerns to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes.
Taking a look at the pretrial services workup for Mr. Mascal. They noted no pending holds or additional offenses in other courts. Rated him as a 4 and 5 respectively on the NCA FTA scales. And noted that he reported being homeless for the last 7 years. State's recommendation was $5,000 pretrial services. Anything to add, Mr. Goodman?
Yes, Your Honor. I know the pretrial report doesn't note it, but I'm sure that if there's a city court clerk there, they can confirm it. I was able to locate 3 pending misdemeanor cases out of Tucson City Court, all involving trespass in the recent time. It was a tough call on this one, and then I located those 3 cases in addition to the brazen nature of the facts in the interim. The state believes a bond's appropriate. If the case numbers are necessary, I can provide them. I have public access open right now, but it seems like his conduct appears to be escalating, in the recent times based on that.
All right, thank you. Pence?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Mascal is released to pretrial services. Pretrial services identified these charges as nonviolent. He has ties to Tucson and no felony priors. So it's very likely that he's going to be probation available at trial on these cases, on these charges.
Thank you. I will release Mr. Mascal to pretrial services and set this matter for a preliminary hearing on May the 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm also going to order that Mr. Mascal have no contact with any alleged victims, to include going to the incident location, and that he possess, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. All right, Mr. Mascal, you're going to be released to pretrial services. Please make contact with them immediately and make sure and attend your hearing on the 22nd and keep contact with your attorneys. Otherwise, if you miss a court date, warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
I think so. You're excused.
Have a seat right there. Mitchell?
All right. All right. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
James Andrew Mitchell, 9/24/1987.
Good evening, Mr. Mitchell. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here on 2 different matters. We're going to handle the felony matter first. I have here a warrant that was issued for your arrest by Judge Howard Fell of Pima County Superior Court on November 13th of 2023. on charges of possession of narcotic drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. Pretrial services scored Mr. Mitchell as a 6 out of 6. Noting that there was a separate misdemeanor case. And just note that the pretrial services also noted that there was a warrant in this matter that was issued. And I'm sorry, the bond amount was issued at $500. On the felony matter, Mr. Goodman requests $500. Any other argument or facts you want me to be aware of?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. So the only thing I'm really going to speak to, because the court's aware of the criminal history and the failure to appear history, is he reports, he didn't know, about his court date. He didn't appear because he was in custody. That's not an accurate portrayal. If you look at the case, at least our current case, he was originally IA'd on this case back in, looks like July of 2023, was released to pretrial, a warrant issued in August of 2023, was arrested again in November of 2023, released to pretrial again, and then he incurred a Cochise County case in December of 2023 for drug sales he went to prison on. So he may have ultimately later in time went to prison, but he was already given more than one opportunity to appear while he was out of custody for this matter when he was released to pretrial services. So quite frankly, the $500 bond under these circumstances is more than fair, given the set of facts.
Defense.
Judge, that is the correct timeline. However, to add that he was just released from prison today. So we're asking that he's given one more opportunity on pretrial services. It has been 2 years. He has been for the first time today. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services, given one more opportunity. Again, he's been in prison for almost 2 years now. So we're asking that he has the opportunity on pretrial services, considering that it has been 2 years. There has been a substantial prison sentence in that time. So he's looking for one more opportunity on pretrial services, considering all the time that he spent in prison. He's looking to get his life back on track. He wants to take care of this case. So we're asking for an opportunity on pretrial services.
Thank you both. I will honor the bond amount requested by Judge Fell of $500 cash.
Hold on.
And further order that if the bond is posted, that Mr. Mitchell is released to the supervision of pretrial services and submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed. I'll also order that he not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and set this matter for an arraignment on May 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
And Judge, I'm sorry, which office is appointed?
Public Defender's Office.
Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Mitchell, your second case stems from a warrant that was issued by Judge Cornejo out of the Pima County Justice Court. This relates to a charge of issuing a bad check and failing to appear, alleged to have occurred in August of 2023 and May of 2024. On those matters, I will release you. But we'll note that you are being held on your felony matter so that the judge can take appropriate action to have you either transported or seen via video. I'm going to set this matter for an arraignment on May 12th at 8:30 in the morning. In front of Judge Renee Garza. I'll also order that you not have any contact with the alleged victim in the case, to include going to their place of work or residence. All right, sir. So you're going to be released on the misdemeanor matter, but held on the felony matter in lieu of posting the bond. If you do post a bond, please make sure and attend both your court hearings and keep in contact with your attorney. Otherwise, no warrant could issue for your arrest, and you end up right back in custody. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
Robles?
And Your Honor, if I may, that Robles is another Attorney General case. Given that the drug case is Attorney General, there would be no steps hearing for that case because steps is a county attorney case program.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Gooden. All right. 1 second. All right. And please have your full name and date of birth.
Emilio Manuel Robles, 06-2598.
Right. All right, Mr. Robles, you are being seen here this evening on a few different matters. We'll take them all in turn. All right. First matter we'll deal with is charges of trafficking and stolen property, organized retail theft, conspiracy, fraud schemes, legally control of an enterprise and overarching theft, alleged to have occurred, been committed on 29 April of this year. To remind you, sir, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please direct them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. On this matter, for the AG's office to notes, I guess overall for the pretrial services report, this is one of several cases noted by pretrial services pending against Mr. Robles. He was rated as a 4 out of 4 on the NCAA FTA scales, noting that he is a lifelong resident of Tucson but is unemployed. No contact or reference could be reached, and pretrial services was not able to determine any prior felony history for Mr. Robles. Regarding conditions of release on this matter, what's the Attorney General's office recommendation?
Thank you, Judge. We are asking for the $75,000 bond on this. Mr. Robles was the main perpetrator of this enterprise. He's recorded multiple times going into multiple locations and taking multiple items, which he then pawned through various outlets, including Facebook Marketplace. More significantly, Judge, the reason for the $75,000 is Mr. Robles has indicated he's unemployed, which means that this theft scheme was his primary source of employment. And the state doesn't believe that he should be able to use the proceeds of that offense, which was roughly $50,000, to be the basis for his bond. So by asking for the higher amount, Judge, we're basically ensuring that there's some sort of he's not able to use what he's taken and sold as a means to pay his bond. He's looking at prison time if he is convicted on this. There are multiple class 2s. There are multiple class 3s. There are multiple class 4s. Should he be released to pretrial services, Judge, we'd ask that not only should he be ordered not to return to the victim addresses, but they'd ask that he be not allowed to return to any Home Depot, Ace, Harbor Freight, or Lowe's in the state of Arizona as a condition of his release, as these were his primary victims where he would go in and remove these items.
And defense?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Robles is released to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, a substantially lower bond. Pretrial services identified these charges as nonviolent. He has lifelong ties to Tucson. If he were released, he'd go home where he lives with his girlfriend. And just to emphasize, he has no felony priors.
Thank you. I will order $25,000 cash bond, and further that if the bond is posted, that he be released to the supervision of pretrial services and submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. I will order that he have no contact with any alleged victims, to include going to any of the incident locations noted. And I will further that he not have any contact with any co-defendants, or into the state's position that he not frequent any business that is connected with any of the incident locations. So any of the businesses to include I believe it's just
Judge, I can provide that again. That's Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight, and Ace Hardware.
Thank you very much. All right. I'll set this matter for a preliminary hearing on May the 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. All right. And that's all we have for this matter. Let's move on to the secondary case. Mr. Robles, you're being seen on this matter, which relates to a charge of possession of dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia, alleged to have occurred earlier today. Against you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can will be held against you. On this matter, I'm also going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. And likewise, please make sure and address any concerns, questions to your attorney seated to your left. What's the state's recommendation for conditions of release?
Judge, in light of the fact that he's held on a $25,000 bond in the other case, nominal bond for him to ensure he's getting credit on this case as well.
Vince?
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a nominal $500 bond for time credit.
I will oppose a bond of $500 cash, and further order release to pretrial services if the bond is posted. I will set the matter for a preliminary hearing on May 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that should be it for this one.
Judge, I think that's the only cases that I have. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And lastly, we have a case stemming out of the Tucson City Court involving several different charges. So let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different docket number. I'm sorry, that's all one charge. 4 separate cases involving allegations of domestic violence assault, domestic violence criminal trespass in the first degree, domestic violence criminal damage, domestic violence unlawful imprisonment, domestic violence interfering with a judicial proceeding, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. On this matter, I'm going to likewise hold you on a $250 bond, cash, and set this matter for a video review hearing on May 14th at 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Millian at the Tucson City Court. So if you're still in custody at that time, you'll be seen via video the same way you're appearing tonight. I'm going to order that you not possess any firearms or weapons, that you have no contact with any alleged victim in this case, to include going to their place of work or residence or any incident location that's noted. I'm also going to appoint the Pima County City Public Defender, the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Also remind you, sir, that if you fail to appear at any of the hearings, in this case, a trial could proceed in your absence, and you could be found guilty without the ability to present your own defense or challenge the state's evidence or witnesses. Further, if you are found guilty and are unable to be sentenced within 90 days because of your absence, you may lose the right to appeal any conviction. So, sir, that's all I have for you, unless there's anything further from the state or from defense.
No, Judge.
Probably you're excused.
Answers.
Good evening. Can I please have your full name and date of birth?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Zubrai Giovanni Sanchez Cepeda. I was born December 8th, 2002.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, this is the time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening on charges of domestic violence, aggravated assault, strangulation, and domestic violence, disorderly conduct. Reminder, you do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. Just so that the parties are aware, prior to tonight's session, I had the assigned detective reach out to the South Tucson Police Department, the matter, who confirmed that they did not gather or were made aware of any evidence that the alleged victim in this case either alleged or alluded to having their ability to breathe obstructed or restricted in any way. Given that, I want to give both parties an opportunity to comment on probable cause as it relates to the domestic violence strangulation charge, starting with Mr. Goodman.
Your Honor, I mean, that would contradict essentially. I mean, when the term is synonymous with, being strangled, I find that, contradictory to what's actually being written in the interim complaint. And even if the court were to, make the determination of, well, there's no, probable cause here, but the state saying there is based on the facts of the interim complaint. And I'm looking up the rule number for you, Judge. The proper remedy per the rules of criminal procedure, and I can give you the rule number so you can, verify that. But even if you were to determine no PC, the remedy would be to release and not dismiss. And I'm getting that for you right now, Judge. My apologies. Let's see.
No problem. Please take your time. This is obviously something that I didn't give any warning to the parties, so please feel free to take a moment.
So, Your Honor, if you pull up Rule 4.2 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, essentially it would be A4, to determine whether there's probable cause for purposes of release from custody, and if no probable cause is found, immediate release from custody. So it would appear the proper remedy, even if no PC is found, is to release but not dismiss.
Right. Anything else?
Nothing beyond that, Judge. So I believe even if no PC is found, you could release them to pretrial services still and set a 20-day PH date.
And defense?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Sanchez Cepeda is released and that these charges are dismissed, given that there were no allegations that there was any labored breathing or that she wasn't able to breathe. This is not a felony charge at this point. So we're asking that he's released, that these charges are dismissed.
Yes, and I do again apologize that I am asking for kind of a shoot from the hip argument from both parties. I am going to release Mr. Sanchez Cepeda and set this matter for a preliminary hearing on the 22nd to provide the state the opportunity to further investigate and, if necessary, take remedial action to either amend charges or to dismiss them as seen fit. I will order that Mr. Cepeda not commit any acts of domestic violence, have any contact with the alleged victim in this case, and to note that I did not make any adverse findings related to PC as to the other charge, which is another reason for my action. But the matter will be set for a preliminary hearing on the 22nd. Mr. Cepeda, you are going to be released, provided that you can agree that you will be present for your preliminary hearing on the 22nd, and that you will agree not to have any kind of contact whatsoever with the alleged victim in this case, to include going to their place of work or residence. Can you agree to that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's all.
And Judge, the public defender is appointed?
I do apologize. Yes, public defender's office is appointed.
And was that released ROR or pretrial, Your Honor?
ROR. Thank you. You're excused.
Judge, just for clarity, do we need to set a hearing for the misdemeanor?
No, the misdemeanor was included in the incident complaint.
Oh. Thank you, Judge.
See that chair?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Turner.
Good evening, Mr. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Michael Turner, 10/24/68.
All right, Mr. Turner, it's time set for your initial appearance. You're here on charges of possession of a narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, and misconduct involving a weapon. You do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to be appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please address them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
In looking at pretrial services report, there was noted no holds but a warrant Mr. Turner was rated a 6 out of 6 on the NCAA FDA scales, respectively. And no reference was unfortunately able to be contacted. There was note of the warrant, active warrant out of the state of Arkansas, but that documentation wasn't provided to me, so I don't have any additional information beyond pretrial services, other than the history of felony offenses dating back to, I believe, 1988, running through to early 2022, and this is both in the state of Arizona, the state of the state of Arizona, and the state of Texas. What's the state's position on conditions of release?
Your Honor, we're requesting $15,000 bond with pretrial services. The warrant you're probably referencing, I'd imagine, is probably non-extraditable, or else law enforcement would have likely served him with a fugitive from justice, interim complaint for that. He's got 10 priors, Judge, so he's likely been notified at least over the past few decades, at least 10 times. He's not allowed to possess firearms. He's also got violent priors. He's maxed out on both scales. Just given the history, the state feels a slightly higher bond of $15,000 with pretrial would be appropriate.
Thank you. Defense.
Judge, Mr. Turner is not going to be able to post a $15,000 bond. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services. Pretrial services identified this as a nonviolent charge. He is fully employed. He has lifelong ties to Tucson, and if he were released, he'd go, or to Arizona. If he were released, he'd go home or lives with his girlfriend. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services.
I will impose a bond of $7,500 cash secured, and further order that if released, that he be under the supervision of pretrial services, including submitting to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. I'll order that Mr. Turner not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, that he not possess any firearms or weapons, and that any weapons in his possession are surrendered immediately to law enforcement. I'm going to set this matter for a preliminary hearing, on May the 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And again, I don't believe in case I didn't mention it, the Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent Mr. Turner. So, sir, you're going to be held on the $7,500 bond. If you do post that, please make sure and make contact with pretrial services and your attorneys immediately, and be present for your hearing on the 12th. Otherwise, it could proceed in your absence, and a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that appears to be it. Anything?
Not from defense, Judge.
Thank you both very much. You're excused.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, Toyle.
Bye, Peter.
We're good.